Hey guys, MAFishGuy here, doing a quick video on fin and tail rot. Now this disease is usually pretty aggressive, it progresses really quick unless you catch it. Usually in the beginning stages you're going to definitely have a problem on your hands. But what it's caused from is usually poor water quality, which is caused from overfeeding, overcrowding, so maybe you have too many fish in the tank, which is creating stress on the fish, as well as bad water quality, maybe not enough water changes. Usually stress is the #1 cause of this, and there's actually quite a few different pieces of bacteria that go into this disease that makes it so bad, making the treatment sometimes ineffective and a problem when it comes to fin and tail rot. But what you can actually look for fin and tail rot, the major signs are kind of like a milky appearance to the fins. They're going to look frayed, have a white film on them. They're going to have kind of like a white edge on them that might be a little bit ragged, maybe holes in the fins. Sometimes this actually can be brought on by maybe aggression from another fish, maybe biting of the fins, and then it gets infected, and then you have a whole other problem on your hands with the fin and tail rot. Now there's a couple of ways to actually help treat this. As long as you catch it early, you want to make sure you have the correct medication for fin and tail rot. You want to make sure you have some kind of healing agent. Usually Melifex works great for me. Even if you don't use it to treat the fin and tail rot, it's great for helping to regrow the fins. It has a lot of beneficial stuff in it to help the fins start growing again, the coloration come back. Sometimes the coloration just might not be as good when you have the fins grow back, especially in your betas. The coloration can be a little bit different and actually ruins the color of the fish sometimes. So that's why you want to catch this disease early. Now there are some people out there that recommend that you actually take the fish out and take an X-Acto knife and cut off the infected area. I highly recommend not to do that. You're subjecting them to open wounds, maybe bleeding. If you cut it wrong and you cut something else, you're not going to have the fin grow back. You're going to have a permanently stumped fin. So I definitely don't recommend doing that. If you do that, take them to a vet if they're going to do that, but I highly even recommend that they don't do it because you can treat this fast enough. Now some other things that you can actually look for to determine if this is sometimes there actually be a cottony growth on the fins, and that's usually a secondary bacterial infection, or there's kind of like a bloody patch to it, and that way you can kind of tell what it is. But unfortunately with like fin and tail rot, sometimes it actually turns into a different bacterial infection and actually starts affecting the body, which can be a body fungus, and then basically your fish is almost either on its way out if you don't treat it fast enough. Most of the time your fish won't eat. They'll be swimming almost like in a S-shaped pattern, so they're not going to be swimming right, acting right, looking right. But usually from what I'm hearing, this isn't a contagious disease, so usually once your fish get it, usually no one else in the tank is going to get it. I've never really had an issue with the fin and tail rot. Usually it is an isolated problem in my tanks. But I want to go over the ways to actually help treat it, whether it's water changes, salt, adding medicine to the tank. But I kind of want to go over the steps on what you can do to actually help treat it. Okay, so when it comes to treating your tank for fin and tail rot, the first thing you want to keep in mind is, just like with the ick that I did in the previous video, you want to do a 50% water change. And this way you can kind of go over the aquarium conditions that you have. Maybe you're overfeeding, maybe you have too many fish in the tank, maybe the temperature is even too low. That can be kind of a kicking into it with live bears. So you want to keep in mind the temperature. You want to keep live bears at, and this is what usually affects the live bears, is the fin and tail rot. But you want to keep the water usually above 74 to 76, or even at that is fine. But what you can do is do a 50% water change. Make sure you're gravel vacuuming everything to get up maybe some uneaten food that you might have put in, too much food, not enough water changes, and that way it kind of helps clean up the water conditions a little bit. Next you want to add some aquarium salt. Just like with ick, aquarium salt's great. It pretty much helps with anything in the tank, but you want to make sure you're not putting it with maybe any scaleless catfish or anything like that, because it can have an effect on them. Next, what you want to do is actually add the treatment to the tank and treat it for the recommended time on the bottle for the fin and tail rot. If you don't treat it for the recommended time, the disease is just going to come back. It's usually going to end your fish's life at that point because it's just so weakened down after getting it for the first time. The second time usually wipes it out. So as long as you treat this in the first time, you shouldn't have a problem. and then with that water change, it's going to add a bunch of fresh water and help them flourish a little bit. And make sure you raise that temperature, not too quick, just because you're going to have a problem like that. Usually a degree every hour or 2 hours is usually sufficient. So make sure you don't raise that too quick. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns on this video on fin and tail rot, or if you have any diseases in your tank that you want to learn how to clear up, post it down below. You can describe what the problem is, and I'll jump right back onto it with the comments. Unfortunately, YouTube is changing their inbox policy, and the comments aren't going to my comment section anymore. They're actually going to an email. So I should be getting most of them, but it might take me a little bit more time to get to everything. So just be patient. If I don't get to it within a week, please post it again. I will jump on it right then and get to it. Just let me know that the answer's been waiting a while. I'll be doing a contest giveaway. It's going to be a holidays giveaway. It's probably going to be a prize valued at about $50. So make sure to stay tuned and subscribe. I appreciate it. Share my videos. The more subscribers that I have coming up to this holiday contest, the higher the prize value will be, and the better the prizes will be. So keep tuned. Thanks.